Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of Loophole of Retreat, Venice. It is wonderful to be here with you all, sharing ideas, conversation, and community together. The conveners have provided me with a text for which I am very grateful. It relieves me of any obligation to meet the brilliance of our first day, the brilliance assembled in this room. It has become increasingly difficult to ascend the stairs to this podium. On the first day of Loophole, so much was offered, from ground thought to fresh water. After Jacobs and Hurston and Agar Jones, we understand the ground as the site of thought and movement, the feel of earth under our feet as critical to our practice of freedom. The manuals of anti-colonial struggle embodied and recited by our mothers and grandmothers. A daughter's speculative ekphrasis restores and imagines the role of African women in the war against fascism. We who write the manuals with our deeds provide lessons about what the unknown yields, and how the embrace of the enormity of what is unknowable has the capacity to make even granite bleed and cry. The need of translation in our anti-colonial practice, that our freedom dreams have always exceeded bureaucratic political policy, because we have never failed to wonder what kind of life might be possible after the last garment, and existing in a world no longer constructed by plantation forms, or the blueprint of another set of arrangements, a beautiful girl child riding in the back seat with her roller skates dangling over the white leather of her daddy's car might dream, Detroit as utopia, or the elders and the church mothers providing the lesson that ecstasis is our language of free, or the beautiful obliquity of how we cut the line between wait and awaiting, or how the bottom is the terrain of intense extraction and destitution, which is also a synonym for the transfiguration of value itself, and how we welcome the end of the world scratching away the surface of the visible, how we want no longer to be rented out, how we fight against making our wombs the property of others or fetishizing vessels of death as art objects. And for now, in the meantime, we have opted for love and grace and being available in the flesh and embracing the mother's mark so that the world has not been raised. And these are just a few of the things I remember from the first day. So thank you all again for being here. Most of you in the audience could be standing here on this podium. There are so many institution builders, path breakers, Black first, feminist foremothers, visionaries, and folks who have made the way in this room. We thank you for your presence and what you have made possible for us. We thank you not for being an audience, but for holding this space with us. As Rashida mentioned yesterday, Loophole of Retreat, Venice builds on an eponymous one-day convening held in 2019 at the Guggenheim Museum in New York, which I had the honor of organizing together with Tina Kampt and Simone Lee. I want to say a few words about the one who has gathered us, who has issued the call. I won't call her name because we know it. It is on our tongue. We utter it with regard. The one who makes worlds with her hands. Then I wrote, Simone's practice has been devoted to articulating Black women's everyday life and ordinary use, a being made into a tool for others, equipment for living, an incubator of possibility, a refuge, a clearing, a dwelling, a loophole of retreat. These are some of the ways that Lee has articulated the Black female condition, the tension between the facts of Blackness and the lived experience. Her work, like my own, is preoccupied with the question of scale, how to undo assumptions about the provincialism and narrowness of Black women's life and work so that the dimensions of their existence in the world, their contribution, their way of making and doing might be recalibrated. In her attention to the Black feminine, not simply its myriad duties and functions or the long duration of abuse, violation, exploitation, precarity, and fungibility, but the Black feminine as an architecture of possibility, a grammar of not being in the world. In her work, I have found a critical language able to convey the epic reach of the Black ordinary and the monumentality of the everyday. The solidity and mass of the work illuminates the paradox, expresses the antagonism. Her capacity is yoked in service of others, exploited and devalued. She is load-bearing and breakable. The stark outline of the predicament is that the one who makes a home for others in the world finds herself outside the parameters of the human, not seen and never regarded, excluded and negated. I imagine Simone is somewhere in the room cringing. I'm actually surprised I can see her so clearly. I will not ask her to stand because the joke was going to be, where is Simone? Simone is a shy, reserved person who achieves enormous feats and then works her hardest to elude the spotlight. Her brilliance resides as much in the beautiful objects she creates as in what she makes possible for us. She always endeavors to make her resources ours, to extend and open her hand. This is the exemplary Black feminist gesture, an outstretched and open hand, her tongue in my mouth. She has gathered us again, and with her trusted friend, Rashida, called us across continents to gather here. I want to thank her for that, for making this gathering of Black women possible, because Simone has a deep understanding of the power of what happens when Black women gather. We plot to undo the world. So it has been a pleasure to serve as an advisor for this second iteration of Loophole, where it has expanded fivefold and moved continents. I want to thank Rashida Bumbry again. Loophole 2 is her vision. And now to the business of the day. For those of you who missed yesterday's welcome, I want to reiterate some keynotes to orient you to our venue and describe how today's program will unfold. Loophole of Retreat, Venice, is hosted at the Fondazione Cini, a cultural institution here on the island of San Giorgio Maggiore, and please forgive my mangling of the beautiful Italian language. Loophole programming will take place throughout several venues across the Foundation's campus. This morning, we will begin here in the Sala della Arazzi, the symposium's main lecture hall, with a performance by Black Quantum Futurism, followed by a series of talks and presentations. We will then break for lunch at 1:30, during which time you can purchase food from our vendors all day. At 1:30 in the courtyard, Paloma Gregor will have a performance. At 2:30, we will resume programming with our film screenings, conversations, and talks here at the Arazzi. At the same time, our performance program will start in the theater located in the Ex Piscina Gandini. All day long, a looped film program will be screening in the Sala del Chiostro dei Cipressi, located near the entrance. You can find a map of these spaces in your brochure, and the Loophole hostesses stationed throughout the grounds can help guide you to the various venues. For the performances in the Exposizione Gandini, please plan to arrive 15 minutes ahead of the scheduled start time. The nearby Sala dei Capriati will serve as a lounge space and also as overflow seating for the program here in the Arazzi, which will be live streamed there. This is a space where you can also relax, work, or enjoy solitude. To that end, I wish to note that we have more ticketed attendees than we have seats in any individual programmed room here at the conference. We therefore encourage you to circulate to the various spaces throughout the day. Yesterday afternoon, I circulated and saw a brilliant performance, so please do circulate. We ask that you please do not leave your things or otherwise save your seat here when you leave this room in order to allow for others to experience the programming in person. We also ask that you silence your cell phones and kindly refrain from taking flash photography here in the Arazzi. Please also note that the conference will be live streamed and the proceedings will be photographed and recorded. I am honored to now briefly introduce the first hour of presenters for Loophole of Retreat Venice. You can find fuller biographies of our distinguished speakers on the Loophole of Retreat Venice webpage at Simone Lee Venice2022.org. Throughout the rest of the day, the participants will be introduced by the fabulous students from Spelman College who recently participated in a seminar entitled Simone Lee, Art and Theory. So our program today begins with a performance by Black Quantum Futurism. Black Quantum Futurism is an interdisciplinary creative practice formed by Philadelphia-based Ayewe and Rashida Phillips. Their internationally presented works include the award-winning Community Futures Lab, Community Futurism's Project. Following Black Quantum Futurism's performance, we will hear from the following speakers. Zakiya Iman Jackson is Associate Professor of English and Director of the Center for Feminist Research at the University of Southern California. She has authored the award-winning Becoming Human, Matter and Meaning in an Anti-Black World. Nomaduma Rosa Masalela is a Berlin-based artist, curator, and writer who is interested in collective work and strategy, public and performance art, ephemera of exile and xenophobia, and the ambivalent natures of authenticity, history, and identity production. She holds a master's in art and philosophy from Columbia University in New York. Lastly, the fabulous Grada Quilombo is an interdisciplinary artist born in Lisbon and based in Berlin, whose work draws on memory, trauma, gender, and post-colonialism. Her works have been presented in several major international exhibitions, including Documenta 14. Colomba is the curator of the 35th Biennial of Sao Paulo. So with that, let the wonderful day begin.